Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another walkthrough and achievement guide in Kronos Battle Worlds. And this time we're looking at Mission 6, and it's called The Base. And once again, what we're going to do here is I will outline the general strategy for the mission, and then go into a little bit more specifics on the mission, some details about how to complete it, how I went about doing it, maybe some special units that are in the mission and how to effectively use them. And that'll be in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the video. And then the rest of the video is a heavily edited, but as pretty much a complete playthrough of the rest of the mission, so you can see how exactly I went about doing it. Once again, gameplay is sped up, and sections where I'm just moving mass units without anything really going on are cut out so that the time of the video is somewhat manageable. So mission 6 is an interesting one for a number of reasons. The first is that there is no secondary objective. So if you complete the mission, which is just the primary objective, which is to capture a headquarters, and it's marked on the minimap. You can't see the building, but you can see the gap in the fog of war where it's located. There's a headquarter building there. It's far to the northeast. If you capture that building and you don't request manual reinforcements through the menu, you will earn all 3 achievements for this mission. And just like all the other missions, you get an achievement for completing the primary objectives, an achievement for completing the secondary objectives, and an achievement for completing the mission without requesting reinforcements. And like I said, in this one, all you're doing is the primary objective. You're capturing the building. You'll get all 3. There is nothing else that matters in this battle. No other buildings, no other units, no special conditions. You capture that base, the mission immediately ends, and you will have all 3 achievements. So the next interesting thing about the mission is that you start with an extremely small force of units, and it's 3 units of a very special type that we haven't seen before called a sniper. And these sniper units are really awesome. They can stealth, they can move while stealthed, and they can also move through wooded areas because they're infantry, and they can also capture buildings because they're infantry. And on top of all that, they have a range of 1 to 2, so they can engage long-range units by getting in their face, and they can engage short-range units by getting at range without risking a counterattack. And on top of all that, if one of your snipers is stealthed and the enemy units reveal them by moving to an adjacent tile, the snipers immediately get to attack the unit that revealed them, and that attack doesn't count as the sniper's counterattack. Usually you can only counterattack as many times in a turn as you have regular attacks, and the snipers get 1 attack per turn, so usually they can only counterattack once per turn. And they get to cheat that a little bit, because if they're stealthed and they get revealed, they will shoot as a reaction. Then if that unit that revealed them attacks them, they will also get to respond to that attack with a counterattack. So these units are awesome. And on top of all of that, if that wasn't enough, once you get them to rank 2, they can unlock a self-heal ability. Every turn they heal, I believe it's 10% of their health. It's 9 hit points because they start with 90 health. So you can stealth them and sit, and they'll heal themselves back up once you get them to rank 2. So these units are really incredible. I'm hoping they show up in the rest of the game as an available unit, and they're not just a one-off for this mission, because that would be a shame. So the mission is fairly straightforward. You start with these snipers, and you just want to carefully, cautiously progress your way towards the enemy base. And there are multiple paths. If you follow the path that I do, it had pretty low resistance. Along the way, you're going to engage little encampments of enemies, and you want to use the varied abilities of your snipers to their fullest potential, so you get through each of those encounters, certainly without losing a unit, and usually without having a unit being lastingly damaged. And sometimes you'll also be able to increase the size of your army through depots and other methods of acquiring additional units that you can capture. There are repair crates scattered kind of around each encounter, so get no engagement, win it, make sure none of your units die, use those scrap repair spots to heal up, because you're going to be progressing, you're going to be moving on, and you're not going to really be able to come back and pick those up later. So use them while they're there, top off your guys after each engagement. Once you have the self-heal unlocked, feel free to abuse that to its fullest extent. Again, there's no turn limit here, so sit and heal your guys up, let them passively heal for 5 turns if you need to before you get to the next engagement. So the other thing is if you see a group of units in front of you, you don't necessarily have to jump right in and engage them. Um, they may be on patrol. There's a number of times where I saw a group of enemies and I'm like, oh, they're guarding this area or this building. And the next turn they moved away and they were kind of doing a circuit or a patrol, which allowed me to capture the building, set up a defense, wait for them to complete their circuit and come back. And then I could ambush them and take them out very quickly and easily. So keep an eye out for those. You'll see in the video where I spot enemies, and then by not attacking them right away, they move and I'm able to get where I'm trying to go. The other thing that this mission has is a real superstar of a unit besides the snipers. It's called the Medusa, and I'm guessing that's because it's so ugly, but despite its appearance, it's an awesome unit on the battlefield. This thing it looks kind of like a Jeep with a cannon on the back, and the cannon has a range of 4, which is longer than the range of gun turrets, and the gun doesn't do a lot of damage, but it has a 1-turn stun effect. So this thing is your turret killer. It's also good against tanks or other units that you won't be able to take out without taking a lot of damage in return. So you roll this thing up to a range of 4, which is outside of gun turret return fire range, and really it wouldn't matter because it's going to stun anyway. It fires a shell, stuns the gun turret, and then you can use the rest of your units to move in and attack the gun turret and not risk getting return fire. While the turret is stunned, it's on your turn that you stun it, it won't counterattack, and on the enemy's next turn, it can't attack either. Then it comes off of the stun, and thankfully your Medusa can fire again if you need to and stun it again. The downside to the Medusa unit is its ammo count. It's extremely low. It only carries 3 rounds of ammunition, and then it needs to be replenished. But the good thing is, as you progress through the map, there are depots and buildings and ammo crates all over. So every time you end a fight, just like you're healing up your units because you're going to move on from those supplies, you're not going to be taking them with you. Also, the depots have ammo. So fill up the ammo on your Medusa after each encounter. If it's got 1 shot left, put 2 more into it. If it's got none, put 3 into it. But you want to be topped off for each engagement because there are a lot of gun turrets and there's not really a good way to deal with them without having this unit. You take some pretty brutal damage trying to take these things out the regular way because you don't really have access to artillery units that can lob shells from outside of range of the gun turrets. So that's pretty much it. If you follow the guide, then you'll get this done. Use the units effectively. You'll get there. There is probably a way to do this mission extremely efficiently by going almost all stealth, just using your snipers and not really acquiring any additional units. There's 2 dockyards to the north by that base, and you could probably capture the first one, load your units up into the light infantry carrier hovercraft, dock it close to the other enemy base, and sneak in and capture the thing, and maybe do it without much trouble. But there's a lot of units defending up near that enemy headquarters, so you can try that. Good luck if you do. I found it to be pretty successful to just kind of step through it methodically, carefully. And the other plus side, this mission only, I say only, took about 2 hours compared to the 4-hour plus slog of the previous 2 missions. So it was also a little bit shorter, which was refreshing as well. So that's going to wrap it up for this mission. Hopefully you guys found this useful. If you did, please feel free to give the video a like. I do appreciate it. And as always, you can subscribe for future content. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.